We'll do it like yesterday. We'll do a little bit more text in the morning, and then we'll, in the afternoon, if you have any doubts, we'll see if we've done too much text and there's still some time left, then we can do some debates now. Otherwise, we can do whatever questions you have later on in the afternoon. So we'll just try and stick to that format. Yeah? Of course, during, if you have any questions, please raise your hand. Okay. So, just recapping. So, you recap to me. What's the first category? How many things are mutually inclusive with existent? What are they? Object, knowable object, ascertainable object, phenomenon, established base. 5. These are all mutually inclusive. Yeah? With each other? Our text says, what word does the text use? Equivalent. We're going to use them interchangeably so you get familiar with both. Because if we use only equivalent, then sometimes people will say mutually inclusive, you might get confused. If we say mutually inclusive and then you find equivalent in the text, it might lead to confusion. So they're the same thing. We'll use them interchangeably. Yeah? Okay? What are the divisions of existent? How are they divided primarily? Okay, but if we want to follow the text, how can things come into existence? Either by causes which leads to change, or not by causes which then doesn't lead to them changing, right? So things that are produced by causes is the definition of what? No. That which is arisen is the definition of product, right? So things that are produced and things that are not produced. What are the 4 things that are equivalent with each other, with product? There's functional thing, conditioned, impermanent, and the 4th is product. Okay? Each one has their own definitions. Yes? I'm not going to ask you the definitions you had one day, but like day after tomorrow, I'm going to expect you all to know the definitions, right? Okay? What are the 4 opposites of these 4? So there's things that come into existence through causes, which are product or produced, functional thing, conditioned, and impermanent. What are the divisions of things that are, not divisions, what are the phenomena that are mutually inclusive with the opposite? So the 4 opposites are non-thing, unproduced, permanent, and unconditioned. These 4, right? And their definitions will be diametrically opposite to the 4 over there. Yes? Tell me how it is. A non-thing.
Non-thing is, well, for example, produced is that which is arisen.
Unproduced.
Not arisen.
Sometimes there's like a word or two that might be different. The one with permanent is slightly different if you pay attention to it, because it has that which is both a phenomenon and non-momentary. That's the only one that has this kind of additional thing. The other ones are tendentially that which is fit to arise, cease, and endure is what our text says, and the other one is that which is not fit to do this. Functional thing is that which is suitable to perform a function, and non-thing is devoid of that ability of performing a function, so on and so forth, right? Okay? Then functional thing is further divided into 3. What are those 3? Matter, material, consciousness, and non-associated, conditioned factors, right? In other translations, it's non-associated compositional factors. It's the same thing, right? Some translations, they're different translations, just so that you get familiar with the translations as well. Okay? So there's matter, yeah?
Some places it's saying physical form for matter.
Yeah, so that's what we've been calling form, is this, what this text is saying, is calling physical form, which then is the larger category within which all the other 5 fall in. Yeah? So physical form is what we've been calling form. matter is what we've been calling matter. Okay? Yeah? So there's just some terminological issues because you'll start to get material from other spots and other places just so that you're familiar with different terminologies and different translations. Okay? I can take no responsibility for this because I haven't done any of these translations, but just so that you know that different translations exist and you know what each one is referring to. Yeah? Okay? Yeah.
So is there a first category which both existent and non-existent are?
So that is going to be called selfless, but in most Buddha texts, it says selfless. Over here, it's not there because we're only dealing with the divisions of existence right now. Yeah? But that'll come later. We'll do that, yeah? Okay? Traditionally in Buddha, you say selfless is the category within which existence and non-existence both fall in. But because we haven't done it and it's not in our text, we're not concerned, right? So that little doubt that you might have, pretend it's not there for now. Just let it be. Okay? Yeah? Okay. Then, so it's matter, consciousness, and non-associated conditioned factors, right? Matter is divided into outer, inner, mental, and elements from which the first three arise. Yes? It's in the text. Tuji, you don't need to write it, it's there in the text. Okay? Here. If you recap and you run through, you know how you were saying you are visual, Jay? But many people are visual. This way of being visual is like, okay, now you have a snapshot of the whole thing. But if you run through them frequently, this is where it starts, this is what is divided into, this is what it's, the phenomena that are inclusive with it are, this is how they are divided, this is what they are inclusive with, this is how they're divided. If you do this a few times, then it'll be very easy for you to have that quick snapshot, even just when you think about it, without having to see it each time. Yeah? Okay? So, we're at matter, it's divided into four: external, internal, mental sense object, and the elements from which the previous three arise. Right? External is divided into 5, which is those are the definitions. What are the definitions? Visual form, taste, smell, sound, and tactility. What is it? It's a. Can we just say touch? Is that okay? It's easier, right? Yeah? Just to like ease it. Yeah? But you know what it's referring to, okay? Alright. Okay, so today we're on this, right? Today we're on these 5. Just so that you know, we'll read them now. Okay, let's just read them then. So let's start. So today we're on these 5. From today, yeah.
Actually, I'm sorry, but touch seems to refer to the sensation. I wouldn't say that this door is a touch.
Okay.
Hardness is a touch. So hardness is tactile.
So that's why when we do the bases or sources, then it's okay to say touch source or touch base maybe. If you want to say tactility, whatever it is, then please say it. You prefer that? Okay, fine. If all of you prefer that unanimously, it stays as it is in the text. No, not anymore. It's not allowed anymore. But what you'll start to see is right now, it's easy to say these things because they have a lot of meaning in English, but then when you debate, you'll find little shortcuts. As long as you're clear with what's happening, okay? So there's 2 ways of doing it. People who are very insistent on terminological consistency, and then there's people who are not. Unfortunately, who you have doing this with you is not obsessive about terminological consistency. The reason is because there's so much material and translation out there that if you get stuck on one terminological thing, I think you can just get lost. That's my personal take. So if you understand what it means and then you use different terms for the sake of debate, again, if you're a translator, it's a different job. If you're translating, then it's different. But when you're debating, if you keep these long words just for giving this kind of perfection, it can be a little hindrance. This is my point of view. If you disagree and you are in the I want the perfect term, then please use the ones in the text. Yeah? I think it's just a tendency. Yeah? Okay? It's like a preference. All right. Now from today, the debates after yesterday, where you were just checking the 4, right? You were just asking the 4 questions. Someone was saying something, and there was, at times you didn't agree with what was being said, but you didn't take any step further. Today, we're not going to start debating, but we're going to add one extra thing, because now we're dealing with definitions from the text. Yesterday was kind of open-ended. Like, when they were asked what a fang is, I remember that a fang was, who said what? You said, Annette, whereas Annette said, this is what fang is, right? So since you don't have any, we weren't dealing with things with definitions yesterday, it was kind of open-ended. What is a claw, what is a fang, etc. Now today we're dealing with material in the text. So there's one extra step that we add, okay? So just look at it. We're on page 93, chapter 6. The 5 sense objects, such as visible form, are posited as objects of consciousness of the 5 sense doors. Thus, the objects that are perceived by eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, and body consciousness are defined as visible form, sound, smell, taste, and tactility bases, respectively. The Compendium of Abhidharma, for example, states, what is form? It is an object derived from the 4 great elements and constitutes the field of experience of the eye sense faculty. What is sound? And then it does this with all of them. It is an object derived from the 4 great elements and constitutes the perceived object of ear sense faculty. Smell, same thing. Nose sense faculty. Taste, same thing. Tongue sense faculty. Tactility, same thing. Body sense faculty. Yeah? The phrase, the field of experience of the sense faculty, indicates that just as the image of an object appears in the mirror, it is on the basis of the physical form appearing to the eye sense faculty that eye consciousness apprehends physical form. Yeah? Yeah.
So we're only talking about the eye consciousness, not even yet on the mental.
No, we're just talking about the sense consciousnesses, but the sense faculties is another thing, which you'll know. There's external form, right? And then there's internal form. So the faculties are called internal form. It'll come in the next chapter. It comes over here. 5 sense objects is what we're doing. And then it says the 5 sense faculties on page 113, chapter 7. It deals with what these faculties are. Okay? So we're going to do it. It's going to come. But just so that you know, the theory of perception according to Buddhists, when it's sensory perception, is there has to be an object that is perceived, and that is matter or form, external form. So visual form, taste, smell, touch, tactility-based sound, these are the objects of sense perception, right? For that perception to arise, it needs a sense faculty. That sense faculty is known as, you know how in the example it says like a mirror? It says over here, just as an object, the image of an object appears in a mirror, the mirror over here is the sense faculty. It's still matter. It's still physical form. Okay? So there's like, they say that there is this sense faculties that reside in our organs. So then there's the sense organs and then the sense faculties, they're different. The eye sense organ is the eyeball. Okay? The taste sense organ is the tongue, this physical tongue. Similar with the ears, nose, and the bodies everywhere, right? In there reside these sense faculties, which are clear. And the reason why they're called clear is because they take on aspects of things. So like external objects or the form objects, external form reflects in these faculties. And that's why sense consciousness can pick them up. Does that make sense? Yeah? So the mirror-like thing is matter, it's a sense faculty. It's not yet consciousness. It's what allows for consciousness to come in contact with the material world. So my eye sense, so if I'm seeing, like if you're seeing the statue of the Buddha is something that is appearing to your eye sense faculty, and then your eye consciousness is picking it up. Yeah? So that's what the faculties are, okay? That's how sensory perception is explained. Is that okay? Yeah? Okay. Whatever's inside your nostrils, there's something, that clear thing. All of them are these clear mirror-like things. Yeah? They'll come. All of these will be defined, and all of this stuff comes later. Okay? So right now, within the perception part of things, we're concerned with the objects, no longer with the sense faculty and not with the consciousness. The sense faculty is in the next chapter. The consciousness section is in Lorik, right? So the detailed explanation of each one follows. Right now, we're on what is the object of these perceptions. So we start with visible form, and then we move on, yeah? So now, definitions, definiendums, and then divisions, okay? To explain the topic visible form, and you see how it says form base in the brackets? Other translators do it as form source, okay? In Tibetan, it's kyeche, okay? What this means, or why they're calling it a form base, or some choose to translate as a form source, is because it is from where that perception arises. It's like the base where that which generates the perception. So if I'm seeing the statue of the Buddha is that visible form or the form base because it is the source of generating that visual perception. Yeah? So source, base, these are all different ways of talking about it. So when you're thinking of visible form and you're thinking of it in the classical terminology, it also has a connotation of being something that is generating consciousness or perception of that kind. Yeah? It's not just the object itself. Yeah? Okay? Now the definition of visible form is that perceived object of eye consciousness. Yes? So take visible form, it follows it has a definition. What is the definition? Okay, great. Okay? So what's the definition of form? Just remind me again. Huh? What's the definition of form? Take form, it follows it has a definition. What is the definition of form? Visible form, sorry. Perceived object of eye consciousness. Yeah? What is the definition of physical form? Have we done it? No. Yeah. No. No. So here. There you go. We have done that, right? Okay. The definition of matter or material is what? It's the one that's inclusive, but one has that it is obstructive and one has that it is suitable as materiality, remember? Yeah? Yeah, so just tell me the definition again. What's the definition of physical form? What's the definition of matter? Obstructive, there's that thing of obstructive. Coarse material phenomena must be defined in terms of the character of obstructive resistance. It's the first line of chapter 5. Yeah?
Sometimes it seems not clear whether it's an explanation of the meaning or if it's a
No, the definition? Here. Capable of, where does it say physical form is that which is suitable as materiality? Here. That's the explanation. That's the explanation. Yeah? That which is, okay, yeah, you're right. So, material phenomena, that must be defined in terms of obstructive resistance. However, when the essential nature or unique attributes of physical entities are explained, it is that which is capable of materiality. Yeah? So, the definition of material phenomena is that which is capable of materiality. And the definition of physical form, we don't have it here. It's that one which is atomically established. You remember that one that we had in Ardudra? But leave that, because it's not given in the text, Kelsey, okay? So don't add that one, okay?
And that, sorry, matter?
Huh?
I didn't catch what the
So this text doesn't have matter. I think this text is using physical form for matter, because it's using materiality, no? Material objects separately.
Is matter and physical form equal?
No.
No?
Matter here, I think what you have in the other text as matter is material form over here. That's how that I think they're translating. So just matter doesn't exist. Yeah? You're learning physical form. No. Here. The definition of material phenomena, coarse material phenomena, how it opens. Yeah? It is that which is capable of materiality. That's it. Which is divided into two: external form and internal form. Internal form and external form. External form is divided into 5. The first one is visual form, visible form, which has what as a definition? Yeah. Yeah, is that okay? Visible form is defined as that perceived object of eye consciousness. Is that okay? Yeah? Then that's divided into 2. So you're on the text now. Yeah? Color and shape. Okay, so color and shape are divisions of? Which is a division of? No. It's a division of? Outer physical form. Which is a division of? Which is a division of? Which is a division of? Yeah. Yeah. Of phenomenon existent, whichever one you want to say. Yeah, is that okay? So you go all the way up and you come all the way down. Yes? Yeah? It's quite straightforward, right? Okay. What are the 2 divisions of material form? Of visible form? Color and shape, right. Now these both will have definitions. Here we go. If classified visible form is twofold, color and shape, the first refers to hues like blue, yellow, and so on, which are referred to as colors, while configurations such as long, short, square, and so on are called shapes. Okay? If one were to take a house as an example, its white or yellow hue is posited as its color, while its proportions or dimensions are posited as its shape. Yeah? Colors fall into 2 classes, primary colors and secondary colors. Now this is the part where many people are a little uncomfortable because everyone knows what these are. So you're not learning what primary colors are, nor are you learning what secondary colors are. You're learning them within the classification to know the definitions and then use them as debate material, right? Okay? That which is fit to be a primary hue is the definition of primary color. So the definition of color will be what then, if you extrapolate? What's the definition of color? That which is suitable to be a hue. Yeah? That which is fit to be a hue, because our text says fit. What is the definition of primary hue? That which is fit to be a primary hue. So the definition of secondary hue will be that which is fit to be a secondary hue. Okay? When differentiated, there are 4 primary colors: blue, yellow, white, and red. These 4 are called primary colors since the secondary colors are derived from combinations of these. For example, yellow combined with a predominance of blue makes green. Therefore, the term primary should be understood in terms of being the basis or the cause of the secondary colors. Alternatively, these are called primary colors because they conform with the colors of the 4 primary elements that constitute the basis or the cause of resultant form. Yes? That which is fit to be a secondary hue is the definition of secondary color. Let's just read this and then you'll have some material to just start debating with, okay? Here, this is the fun part. When differentiated, 8 secondary colors are identified as light, darkness, cloud, smoke, dust, shadow, mist, and sunlight. So your list of secondary colors is not green, orange, purple, magenta, fuchsia, etc., etc., etc. It's light, darkness, cloud, smoke, dust, shadow, mist, and sunlight. Now, I don't know if it's fortunately or unfortunately, this text explains why it's giving these 8. It's unfortunate because you don't have now the requirement to come up with your own explanation. It's already given in the text. Most Dudra texts don't explain this, and so you're left really puzzled as to why these are divided, okay? These colors are called secondary since it is in dependence on the combination of the 4 primary colors in varying measures that the secondary colors emerge. In his commentary to the Treasury of Knowledge, Purna Vardhana explains that secondary here means individuated. For he states, there are 4 primary colors and there are 8 secondary colors, such as cloud color, that are individually related to combinations of these 4 in greater or lesser measure. Now, without reading the next one, first step, take primary color and secondary color. It follows they are mutually exclusive, inclusive, they have 3 possibilities, they have 4 possibilities. Except, why? Except. It follows they are what? Take primary color and secondary color. It follows they're mutually exclusive. Okay. Take primary color and secondary color. It follows they are mutually exclusive, you all said. Is everyone saying they're mutually exclusive? I'm hearing a lot of no answers. What is it?
Well, if the primary colors are, if the secondary colors are related, they're related to the primary colors.
Inclusive, exclusive, answer, whatever you think.
Okay, I thought maybe 3.
3? I saw last night. All of you who are hesitant to answer in class, please remember that I'm going to spend all the evenings with you, so I do see you debate. I do know that you know things. You can't pretend not to know things anymore. That's only something you can do in the beginning. I heard you debate last night. What do you think, straight off the top?
4.
4. Okay.
I don't know.
No one knows yet. Okay, fine. So let's start. Is there something that is both a primary color and a secondary color? Except, for example?
Yellow and green.
Yellow and green. We don't know yet, okay? Now, what we're going to add today, okay? Then we're going to do all 4, but what we're going to add today, so just remember. If it is a primary color, it follows it is necessarily a secondary color. For example? Did someone say leather? Yellow. Oh, okay. Yellow. If it is a secondary color, it follows it is necessarily a primary color. For example? Except. If it is a secondary color, it follows it is necessarily a secondary color, except. It follows it is necessarily a primary color. Except. We don't know. We're just checking, okay? Then? Why? For example? What? Sunlight, color, sunlight. Cloud. No one said sound, no? I heard sound, sorry. Is there something that is neither primary color nor a secondary color? What, for example? Sounds. Okay, fine. Now, the things that we're going to add today. So we have some examples that have been given, okay? You gave yellow and green as an example of the first. As an example of a primary color but not a secondary color, I heard yellow. As an example of a secondary color but not a primary color, we have cloud. And as an example of neither, we have sound. Okay? So yesterday we stopped here. Today we're adding one more layer of questioning. Okay? And the first question is, take yellow and green. It follows it is a primary color. It follows it is not a primary color. It follows it is a primary color. Okay. It follows it is a primary color because it fulfills the definition of a primary color. What is the definition of a primary color?
Something that fits the hue.
That which is fit to be a primary hue. Okay? Why are we doing this? Because by doing this, you are also revising your definitions. Okay? So this is now that little additional layer that you add in, and by questioning it, you have to remember the definitions, but you also get practice of the definitions at each step. Okay? So we'll do it with all examples. Take yellow and green, it follows it is a secondary color.
Why?
It follows it is not the example of something that is both a primary color and a secondary color. It follows there is nothing that is both a primary color and a secondary color. It follows that they are exclusive. Okay. Second question. Take red. It follows it is a primary color. Yeah.
So primary color and secondary color is exclusive, right?
We don't know. We're checking.
Okay.
We're checking. According to how you've answered right now, it's exclusive. So far. Someone might say something different and it might change. In debate, it might become different, okay? So we're just checking, okay? Now, take red. It follows it is a primary color. It follows it is not a primary color because it doesn't fulfill the definition of primary color. What is the definition of primary color? Take red. It follows it is that which is fit to be a primary hue. That's it. You're just testing for definitions, okay? Take red. It follows it is not a secondary color. It follows it is a secondary color because it fulfills the definition of secondary color. What is the definition of secondary color? Take red. It follows it is not that which is fit to be a secondary hue. Take red. It follows it is not that which is fit to be a secondary hue. Now third one, sound. Take sound. It follows it is a primary color. It follows it is a primary color because it fulfills the definition of primary color. What is the definition of primary color? Take sound. It follows it is not that which is suitable to be a primary hue. Take sound. It follows it is a secondary color because it fulfills the definition of secondary color. It fulfills the definition of secondary color because it is that which is fit to be a secondary hue. What did you say? What? No, okay. Got it? Just do this. What didn't you get?
Will you go too fast? And I
Oh yes, I was told to go slowly. Sorry, my mistake. Yes, sorry. Okay. So we do. No. We'll do it again. We'll do another one with a different one. Okay. Let's do this. Where are you? Definiendum. It's this strange Latin derivative. So what you'll do is, let's do one. If you do one as an example, you get all the others, right? Let's go with the second one, which was red. You said, red is primary color but not secondary color, right? So you'll take red. It follows it is a primary color. It follows it is not a primary color because it doesn't fulfill the definition of primary color. It doesn't fulfill the definition of primary color. It doesn't fulfill the definition of primary. I'm giving a reason. So, reason not established or no pervasion. See, you're getting slowly into the practice of it. That's it. It's the first time. So it's okay. The ones who are answering, you're hearing, giving those quick answers are the people who've already done this. Yeah? So take red. It follows it is not a primary color because it doesn't fulfill the definition of primary color. It follows it fulfills the definition of primary color. Why? Except. What is the definition of primary color? That which is fit to be a primary hue. So take red, it follows it is that which is fit to be a primary hue. That's it. Yeah, write it down. I'll tell you again. But see, you just need to...
I want to know we take 4, and at what point do I jump off?
You do all 4, okay? You do all of those. They'll all have given different answers at different points. So for the first one, now you said they're exclusive, but earlier you started by saying yellow and green. For the second one, I heard red. For the third one, they said cloud. And for the fourth one, they said sound. So at each step, you will start asking for all of them. Can we do another one as an example? Yeah? No, I'm doing all of them indiscriminately because we haven't yet reached the point of challenging. We're just getting the structure more. By doing this though, we're doing structure we're learning a little bit of how to formulate syllogisms, we're getting familiar slightly with the answers, and we're repeating definitions. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening just by doing this exercise, okay? Can we try another one? Okay. What is the relation between, I don't know, primary color and cloud? Oh, one sec. Primary color and sunlight. Take primary color and sunlight. It follows they have 4 possibilities, 3 possibilities. They are mutually inclusive or mutually exclusive. Why or except?
I have a question.
Yes.
So when you first state like A and B, and that they have
3, 4 exclusive.
why do we say except or why at that stage, and the next is like okay how many?
Because it's a predicate, no? I'm asking you. Which it follows they have either 4 or 3 or 2, sorry, or inclusive or exclusive.
Right.
You say why or except.
Yeah. So so far.
Is that okay? The why or except?
Yes.
Up till here?
No. So far, from what I've understood, it's always accept.
Why?
Is it why?
No, I mean, why is it always except? Someone can say why. You can say why. If you don't agree that it's any of these, you can say why. Yesterday, with you and Ornella, there was something that came up which potentially might not be 3, 4 exclusive, inclusive. Do you recollect? Yeah, you remember that? You remember that? So you don't have to always say except. I said we will discuss it later. But if you disagree,
To my mind, it's like it has to be one of the 4s.
that's to your mind. So then you say except.
So that's why I found, that first answer redundant, and we tended to do this also when debating. We went straight off.
If redundancy is our concern, then you're learning that primary colors are red, yellow, white, and blue. I think redundancy is definitely not the concern over here, right? It's habit and structure and patterns that you're learning. Redundancy, everything that you're doing right now is redundant, content-wise. So we're not concerned with, again, we're not concerned with speed efficiency, we're not concerned with being clear, we're not concerned with understanding meaning. If we're redundant, it's fine. If we're repetitive, that's totally fine. If you learn Sanskrit, well, how many times will they teach you the parrot is on the tree, the parrot is on the branch, the parrot is on the branch, on the tree? It's redundant, you know that. But why are you doing it so many times? Because by tomorrow morning, you'll have forgotten the structure again. And then if you don't do this tomorrow morning and you come back day after, and you don't do it today and tomorrow, day after, it'll be like you're on day 1. Should we cite example in case? How many years have you done Dura in the past? How many times have you tried to do Dura?
No, I did the first one 3 months.
Yeah, and what are you doing right now?
And then I quit.
So my point is, the redundancy seems redundant because you're geared to understanding and getting answers. That's not what you're doing, right? And I'm totally fine repeating this till I get hoarse, because we've said that's one of our main issues. We want to get to the point of things. We want to understand the meaning. So again, we're not doing that. We don't care about that, okay? Redundancy is fine, yeah? I'll give you an example. In the sutras, when at the end of the Heart Sutra, the Buddha says, well said, well said. There's a debate in the texts. Why is the Buddha being redundant? He could have said well said once. Why is he saying it twice? I swear it's a thing. Because the words of the Buddha are supposed to be perfect and everything has purpose. And then why is he saying well said, well said? It's redundant. So we say, no, the error of redundancy is not there because there's a reason why Buddha is saying well said. It's to underline or underscore the importance of what has just been said. Similarly, it's not redundant because redundancy would be if it served no purpose. It serves a purpose. The purpose is for you to learn these things and to get the imprint stronger. So redundancy is when you just go on talking and there's no purpose or benefit to what you said. So the Buddha said, well said, son of noble lineage. Same thing. It follows, there is, it follows, there is, it follows, there is, right? Okay? Yeah? I'm not joking, this is actually a debate. Take the second well said from the Heart Sutra, it follows, it is redundant. It's actually a debate that we do later, okay? Okay? Done? Okay, so we're doing sunlight and yellow. Okay? Yeah? Right, my mistake. Primary color and sunlight. Thank you. I'm going to ask you only. Take primary color and sunlight. It follows they are mutually inclusive, they're mutually exclusive, they have 4 possibilities, or they have 3 possibilities. Good. Which one is it?
Mutually exclusive.
Mutually exclusive. Everyone else, you all agree? And you have potentially a debate brewing, but you're not allowed to go into it, right? Okay. So take primary color and sunlight. It follows there's nothing that can be both. Except? You said 3. What did you say? Why? For example?
What are the sunlight and
Primary color.
white? Or white sunlight?
White, okay. So white sunlight is your example of something that's both? Okay. If it is a primary color, it follows it is necessarily sunlight. For example? Louder. Louder, I can't hear. Yellow flower, blue. Okay. Yellow flower, blue. Whatever you think, just say it. Okay? If it is sunlight, it follows it is necessarily a primary color. Except, wise, for example, bright sunlight. Bright sunlight, okay. Take sunlight and primary color. It follows there is something that is neither. For example, dog.
Wait, sorry, you talking about
Dog.
sunlight, the thing from the sun, or sunlight the color?
I don't want sunlight. The text says sunlight, nondescript. Sunlight is the example. However you intend it to be will then be what will make you start debating it and thinking about it in your own specific way. Right now, all it says is sunlight. And it says it's a secondary color as well, yes. Therefore, it's a color that is derived from the 4 primary colors, right? Whatever you think right now is fine. So, is there something that's neither sunlight nor a primary color? For example, you, dog, okay? Now, your question was, what is the addition that we're doing today? We have an answer for all 4. If I was debating with Anastasia, I'd have 4 answers. The first one is white sunlight. The second one is that which is a primary color but not sunlight, blue. The third one was bright sunlight, something that is sunlight but not a primary color. Whatever. The fourth one is a dog, Jason, etc., etc. Okay? Now I've done all 4 questions. I have 4 responses. What am I doing now that I wasn't doing yesterday? What are you doing today that you weren't doing yesterday? You'll take each one of the examples that have been given and you'll test whether they are actually primary color and sunlight or not. So take, what did you say, white sunlight? Take white sunlight. It follows it is a primary color. Take white sunlight. It follows it is not a primary color. Because it doesn't fulfill the definition of primary color.
Why?
Reason not established.
Yeah, reason not established.
What is the definition of primary color?
That which is said to be primary.
That's it. Okay? That's it. Tujhe, is that okay? So, let me say it. What have you got? And you, Anastasia said accept. Right? But, okay, write it first. Go ahead. Accept. You could say whatever you want, right? Yeah. Okay? If you say accept, I said it follows it is not a primary color because it doesn't fulfill the definition of primary color. I'm telling her. Yeah. Not a primary color because it doesn't fulfill the definition of primary color. To which she has said reason not established. Yeah. And then I just asked for the definition of the primary color. That's it. Yeah? So I said, what is the definition of primary color? Just asking the definition, right? Okay? Yeah? Now you do the same for all of them. Got it? So just without having to write each one individually, you'll do take white sunlight. It follows it is a secondary color. She'll say except. I'll say it follows it's not. She'll say why. I'll say because it doesn't fulfill the definition. She'll say reason not established, and I'll ask for the definition. That's it. And I'm doing this with all of them. Okay? So with the second one, yeah, let's do it. The second one, the example that I got was yellow flower or blue. I got blue, something that's primary color but not secondary color. Okay? Take blue, it follows it is a primary color. It follows it is not a primary color because it doesn't fulfill the definition of primary color. It follows it fulfills the definition of primary color. What is it? Fit. We've changed. Fit. Okay? That which is fit to be a primary color.
If we say you is okay? Or
Yeah, hue is actually better. That which is fit to be a primary hue. Okay? Then, take blue. It follows it is not a secondary color. Yeah? It follows it is a secondary color because it fulfills the definition of secondary color. What is the definition of secondary color?
what is it to be a secondary hue?
There you go. Same thing with the third one. Take bright sunlight. It follows it is a primary color.
Why?
That's the example that you gave. Huh? No, why? It follows it is a primary color because it fulfills the definition of primary color. Reason not established.
The reason not established.
What is the definition of primary color?
That is fit to be a primary hue.
Perfect. Take bright sunlight. It follows it is a secondary color.
Why?
That it was a secondary color. This is the example of sunlight.
And not primary.
Take bright sunlight. It follows it is sunlight.
Why?
That's the example I was given. That's why I'm asking it. No, it's fine. The example for the third one was something that is sunlight, but not a primary color. And they said bright sunlight or golden sunlight or something like that, okay? So you're just taking the examples that were given and you're just testing them. By testing them, you're just repeating endlessly the definitions. We'll do another one. Yeah?
What if to a specific question the defender says accept and just does not give an example?
It's fine.
So should we test it with the...
No, not now.
With the repeating the definition?
Yeah, no. The definitions will come in the other ones in any case. You won't be saying except to all of them. So at some point they will come. Yeah? Okay?
What is the Tibetan word for this fit? Because I feel like the fit suitable is almost like ancestral, fit to be king.
It's exactly the same in Tibetan. Someone who is suitable to be king, someone who's fit to be king. Rungwa, it's just rungwa. Rungwa means appropriate or suitable or fit. It's the same. Okay?
Still not concerned with correct.
Not at all. You're not concerned with whether they're correct. You're not concerned with challenging. You've only done one debate in your entire life. Just relax right now. You're not there. I'm not saying you're not there yet, but as a process, we're not doing that yet. We're still just trying to get the habit more. Yeah? Yeah.
If it's something where it's not like a debatable kind of wrong, it's more just that somebody's getting mixed up about which category they're answering.
Let them get mixed up. Let everyone make their own mistakes. Let everyone make error. It's fine. Just do this. Because when you pinpoint and focus on one and then you ask the question, then it might be clear in itself. If it's not clear in itself, then the next step is to challenge it. But you're not doing that yet, right? So if it's blatantly obvious to everyone, but they want to hold on to it, the next step is challenging. So we're not doing that. We're not taking that next step. Okay? Yeah.
So is it that we're using a syllogism to test those responses from the first set of responses?
We're using syllogistic language, but we're not really testing it because we're just trying to bring out the definitions by using this language. So you're more than anything with the syllogism, you're familiarizing yourself with stating syllogisms, and you're trying to draw out definitions by stating syllogisms. But you're not really using them because you're not reasoning it out just yet, right? That reasoning step is when it'll start really becoming the debate part of it. But you're familiarizing yourself with the debate language by saying, take this, it follows it is this, because it is this, or because it is not this. So you get familiar with it gradually by doing this, okay? Anyone else? Yes.
So and when we're debating the responses, so then the right response would be reason is not established if we don't give the right definition.
If you don't give the right definition, then...
So if one doesn't give the right definition of, let's say, white sunlight,
What's the definition of white sunlight?
then we would say reason not established.
No, you don't say anything. Right now, so there is something that you can say at that point. Let's do this. Let's just leave that for now, and I'll be with you in debate tonight, and I'll show you what you do later in the afternoon. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Are we good? Is it getting okay? So your divisions of color of shape are visual form are visible form are color and shape. Color is divided into primary and secondary. Primary has 4, secondary has 8. Yeah? Okay. Now shape. Shapes. I'm not reading this section over here because you're probably going to read it yourself later, so that's why I'm not reading it. But it's fun if you can withhold from reading it and try and figure out why these 8 are being given as secondary colors. It could be fun, just for the sake of debate. The answer is already there. So if you feel that if you have to scratch the itch, then by all means read it. If you can hold on to it for a little bit longer and try and figure out this as a debate thing, it has its own utility, okay? Shape. So on page 95, shape, the definition of shape is that which is fit to be a configuration. Okay? When differentiated, there are 8 types: long, short, square, round, high, low, even or smooth, and uneven or rough. Yeah? Square refers to that which is 4-sided, round refers to that which is circle or spherical in shape, even refers to a shape that is smooth or broad, while uneven refers to that which is neither smooth nor broad. The auto commentary, for example, states, even is a smooth shape, uneven is a shape that is not smooth. Thus, when divisions of visible form are added up, there are 20 in total. Yeah? There are 4 primary colors, 8 secondary colors, and 8 shapes. So visible form, yeah.
Is that which is 4-sided a definition or explanation?
Explanation. Because even rectangles are 4-sided technically, no? Yeah? Okay? So that's how these 4 are divided, or these 20 are divided, okay? Then there's a lot of other explanation here which you can look at, because these are other ways in which visible form is divided in other texts, okay? We are using the one that we followed so far, and so we're doing visible form is divided into 2, color is divided in color and shape, color is divided into 2, primary and secondary, primary is divided into 4, secondary is divided into 8, shape is divided into 8, therefore altogether there's 20. Then there's other ways of dividing them as well, which we're not going to look at, just so that you have a clearer picture without getting mixed up in the beginning with additional things. So that's where we are with visible form. Is that okay? Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah. So when I put these numbers together, 8, 8, and 4, it's 16.
8, 8, and 8. No, wait. 8, 8, and 4 is not 16. Wait, that's 20. Yeah, I was like, wow, what happened to my math? Yeah. 8, 8, and 4, yeah. Okay? 8, 8, and 4 is 20. So 4 primary, 8 secondary, 8 shapes. Okay, done. What time is lunch? Sound. Yeah, I saw, yeah. Okay, thank you. So the definition of sound, what's the definition of sound?
Object perceived by your consciousness.
To explain the sense object of sound, the field of experience of ear consciousness, what is audible to the ear is sound. Definition is what Kelsey just said, object of ear consciousness. Simple. Perceived by ear consciousness. Examples include the sound of water flowing or the melody of a flute. Yeah. Sound is classified in terms of 8 types on which the auto commentary states. Sound consists of 8 types. 4 types are causally derived from the great elements, either conjoined or not conjoined with mind, which convey or do not convey meaning to sentient beings. Within these, there exist sounds that are either appealing or unappealing, thus making it 8-fold. So what the division becomes is, the 4 sounds derived from elements conjoined with the mind stream are pleasant sounds that convey meanings to sentient beings, unpleasant sound that convey meaning to sentient beings, pleasant sound that does not convey meaning to sentient beings, unpleasant sound that does not convey meaning to sentient beings. The examples of these are, the first one, pleasant sound that conveys meaning, is the sound of a person singing well, obviously, right? An example of the second one is the sound of a man speaking harsh words. Pleasant sound that does not convey meaning is the song of a cuckoo. An unpleasant sound that does not convey meaning is the sound of a fist striking something. Okay? Notice how it says conjoined with the mind stream? Yeah? Conjoined with the mind stream means the way it arises is because there is some intervention by a sentient being. Joined with the mind stream in that sense. So when I bang my fist on the table, the cause of this sound arising is the 4 elements, but there's also volition with it. That's why it's conjoined with the mind stream. Okay? Whereas if the mic fell on the table, or I don't know, it just fell by itself without any intervention and it made a loud sound, it's an unpleasant sound that doesn't convey meaning, that is not conjoined with the mind stream. So conjoined with mind stream or not just has a connotation of whether there is volition or whether there is some sort of sentient intervention that makes the sound arise. Just that. Okay? Yeah? So it doesn't have to be intentional. Like even if I bang, like if I do this by mistake, right? It's still conjoined with the mind stream because it's still done by somebody. Yeah? So the examples, if you look at the next one, in contrast, the 4 sounds that are derived from the great elements not conjoined with the mind stream are, so the same ones, pleasant that convey meaning, unpleasant that convey meaning, pleasant that does not convey meaning, yeah? Unpleasant that does not convey meaning. Pleasant that conveys meaning to sentient beings not conjoined with the mind stream are pleasant words issuing from a television. The second one is harsh words issuing from a television. Yes? The third one is the sound of a lute. And the fourth one is the sound of a rock cracking. Yeah? Okay? Sound, that's it. Now, all this additional information that you have is, one, very interesting and very helpful as well, but there is a debate over here about sound having a continuation of type, etc., which doesn't concern us right now. We'll do that later when we debate causes. So that comes up as material for later, for causes, okay? Right now, for the sake of debate in Duddha, we're only concerned with this 8-fold division. And the divisions are sound arisen from the elements conjoined with consciousness, not conjoined with consciousness. Each one is divided into 4. Pleasant words that convey, pleasant sounds that convey meaning, pleasant sounds that don't convey meaning, unpleasant sounds that convey meaning, unpleasant sounds that don't convey meaning. Is that okay? Yeah? So take sound, it follows, it has a definition. What is the definition of sound? Object of? Perceived by ear consciousness. Take sound, it follows, it has divisions. What are the 2 main divisions of sound? Arisen from the 4 elements, conjoined with consciousness and not conjoined with consciousness, right? Take sound arisen from the 4 elements that is conjoined with consciousness. It follows it has divisions. What are the divisions? Pleasant? No. Pleasant to hear that conveys meaning, pleasant to hear that doesn't convey meaning. Unpleasant to hear that conveys meaning, unpleasant to hear that doesn't convey meaning. Okay? What are the divisions of sound arisen from the four elements not conjoined with consciousness? Same four. So say them. It's not redundant. Say them to me. Pleasant sounds that convey meanings, pleasant sounds that don't convey meanings, unpleasant sounds that convey meaning, unpleasant sounds that don't convey meaning. Okay. Yeah. What is the relationship? Let me ask a question. That's exactly what I wanted to do. What is the relationship between sound conjoined with consciousness and sound not conjoined with consciousness?
Cannot be perceived by your consciousness.
No, really. So take sound conjoined with consciousness and sound not conjoined with consciousness. It follows they are inclusive, exclusive, they have four possibilities or three possibilities. Exclusive. Take sound conjoined with consciousness. Got it? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to use lute. Right, Mark? Take sound conjoined with consciousness and sound not conjoined with consciousness. It follows there's nothing that's both. Except. If it is sound conjoined with consciousness, it follows it is not sound conjoined with consciousness. It is necessarily not sound conjoined with consciousness. If it is sound conjoined with consciousness, it follows it is necessarily not sound not conjoined with consciousness. Yeah. Except? If it is sound not conjoined with consciousness, it follows it is necessarily not sound conjoined with consciousness. Except? Which one, for example? Lute is an example of?
Say the question again.
Yeah. If it is sound conjoined with consciousness, it follows it is necessarily, no, the third one I'm saying, if it is sound not conjoined with consciousness, it follows it is necessarily sound conjoined with consciousness. Let me start again. I think I made a mistake. I think I'll confuse all of you. Is there something that's both? Why? If it is sound conjoined with consciousness, it follows it is sound not conjoined with consciousness? If it is sound conjoined with consciousness, it follows it is necessarily sound not conjoined with consciousness? Except? Why? For example? Voice. Someone's speech, right? Okay. If it is sound not conjoined with consciousness, it follows it is necessarily sound conjoined with consciousness? For example? A rock cracking. Is there something that is neither sound conjoined with consciousness nor sound not conjoined with consciousness? For example? Space, blue. Okay. Now we do the four. Okay. So the first one you said there's nothing that's both. Then something that is sound conjoined with consciousness is voice, but it is not sound not conjoined with consciousness, right? So take voice, someone's voice. It follows it is sound conjoined with consciousness. It follows it is sound. It follows it is not sound because it doesn't fulfill the definition of sound. What is the definition of sound? It follows it is not sound conjoined. It follows it is sound not conjoined with consciousness.
Why?
Okay? But we don't have a definition for it, right? So you don't have anything that you can go on. Okay? Take, what is the third one? The sound of a rock cracking. It follows it is sound conjoined with consciousness. It follows it is sound not conjoined with consciousness. It follows it is sound. It follows it fulfills the definition of sound. Okay. What is the definition of sound? Okay. Now, Mark, I'm not going to do it intentionally. Okay? Is that fine? So you can do this. Okay. Yeah.
It says that a sound which is, unpleasant, not conjoined with consciousness, it does not convey a meaning.
Yeah.
Even a meaning is also a perceived consciousness. How would you distinguish?
So this is a fun thing. When you do sound later, yeah, for instance, if you look at page 101, okay, there's another thing which talks about linguistic sound. Yeah? Linguistic sound is a specific type of sound that makes known its content. So when you say meaning or not meaning, It's whether the sound that you are hearing has any content. If it has content, then it conveys its meaning. If it has no content per se, then it doesn't convey any meaning. So knowing that it is the sound of, like, if you walk out, you'll hear like there's a little brook. No? If you hear the sound of water is not conveying meaning to you. It doesn't have any content. You understand that it is a sound of water, but that's not meaning conveyed via sound. So the conveying of meaning or not is later on, when we do it further ahead, you'll see it's when sound engages in a certain object. So a sound that is engaged in an object can convey meaning. If it's not engaged in any object and you can merely hear it, then it doesn't convey meaning. That's what conveying meaning means. Yeah? So that's why the sound of a lute, when you hear it, if you're familiar with the sound of a lute, you'll be able to identify it to be the sound of a lute, but it's not conveying meaning that it is the sound of a lute. That's what that means. Yeah? That's the only thing.
Meaning means linguistic?
Meaning means that there is, so meaning doesn't have to mean linguistic. Okay? It can also be sign language, right? It conveys meaning because there is a content that it is referring to. No, it just means that there is content it refers to. So if an expression has content that it is bringing to mind, then it conveys meaning. Now, the way in which it conveys that content can be written. Like if I draw lots of, a doodle around on a page, it's not conveying any meaning, but this is conveying meaning. I'm not saying this is sound, but what I mean by conveying meaning is it has content which it represents. So you can have sign language, you can have the written word, you can have spoken. So when there is a content that it refers to, then that is capable of conveying meaning. Otherwise not. Other than itself, of course. So hearing the word apple will make you understand the sound apple and also the content of that. Whereas if you hear a word like, for example, I don't know, I hope none of you know Tibetan well enough to understand this word, but if I use the word, Shinta, I don't know how many of you understood anything about it, right? But you've heard a sound. For you, that didn't convey any meaning because you don't know the referent of that word. But it's not like you can't go around repeating it endlessly, right? So you've understood the sound, but you haven't got the meaning of that sound. Now the sound itself is conveying meaning because it has a referent to something. But you haven't picked up on what that is until you learn that language. Is that okay?
So I'm curious, so like sounds, for example, a flute or a song, that brings up memories that you...
Yeah, are you artistically inclined?
I do.
Yeah. No, so that is a reference that you do. You can have a reference to something and it brings up something, but the lute itself is not, that sound is not conveying any meaning. So then, I don't know, artists might disagree with this, like, no, it's conveying sadness or it's conveying joy or, I don't know, this composition is the summer sun on a field, something like that. But the piano itself is not conveying that meaning. That's kind of how conveying meaning or not means. Yeah? Yeah.
When we say sentient beings, we say sentient beings of the three worlds?
We say sentient beings, yeah.
Okay, so when we hear in text when they say like leaves that make sounds that transmit Dharma, for example.
That is known as blessed words, so it's still linguistic words.
Okay.
It does convey meaning.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not conjoined with consciousness, with mind stream.
It is, because it's the power of blessing that is conjoined with mind stream.
I thought that was given an example.
Shingi, that's called sutras that are blessed sutras. The definition of sutra is ka, which is sound. So it will be very indirectly conjoined with. Is it an example of not conjoined with consciousness?
So it's articulate that's not conjoined with consciousness.
Where? I don't remember
In
this.
the original vision.
Yeah? Okay. If that's the thing, then it's not conjoined with consciousness, but it is linguistic, so it has content. Yeah? Okay. That could be. I don't remember that exactly. Yeah? Is that fine? Now can you do... We have to stop in 7 minutes. Can we start doing... Wait, we just have to do one more. Let's just add one more. Smell. So So, okay, the remaining sections, just read them if you want. We can discuss it in the afternoon. I just want to finish some material so that you have it for debate. Smell is on 105. Smell is that which is the field of experience or that which is sensed by olfactory consciousness. So, object perceived by olfactory consciousness, or you can say nose consciousness if you want to simplify it, but olfactory consciousness makes it slightly more proper, if you want. Yeah? Smell. Have we skipped one? No, we're just doing the ones from the beginning. Object perceived by nose consciousness. Right, we're just doing that through and through. All of them are going to be the same, yeah? Examples include aroma of sandalwood and saffron. It is if differentiated, smell is divided in 4: pleasant aroma, unpleasant aroma, which are divided into uniform aroma and non-uniform aroma. Vasubandhu's auto-commentary, for example, states, smell has 4 types, both pleasant and unpleasant, and uniform and non-uniform. Uniformity is explained as a small measure of a pleasant or unpleasant aroma, whereas non-uniform aroma is described as a greater measure of either type. In Asanga's compendium of Abhidharma, however, there is a system of classifying smell in 6 types: pleasant aroma, unpleasant aroma, uniform aroma, natural aroma, fabricated aroma, and aroma derived from transformation. As for examples of the last 3, elucidation of the compendium of Abhidharma states, natural aroma refers to aroma such as that of sandalwood and so on. Fabricated aroma refers to the aroma produced by incense and so on. Aroma derived from transformation refers to the aroma of ripened fruit. Yeah? So which one are we going to do? Okay? We're going to follow the standard model, which is here. Yeah? So the standard model in generally has 2 and then 2 within them, okay? So 4. We'll use the 4 model one as our divisions. Pleasant and unpleasant, and then uniform and non-uniform. Yeah, okay? The standard one for sound is sound conjoined with the elements, not conjoined with the elements. Sorry, with the consciousness, not conjoined with consciousness, which then gets divided into 4. So it's 8, and it starts from the original 2. Here, it's uniform and not uniform that then turns into pleasant and unpleasant that turns into uniform and not uniform. Yeah? Okay. Is that okay? The ripened one was then in that 6-fold division by Asanga. We're not doing that one. Okay? Okay? Then I was in the idea of doing all, but I don't think that's fair. Okay, so let's leave this. So what can you do today is relations. Yeah, Shmuel? Okay. So the relations, your relations for today are, now your relations are, again, repetition is important. So what is the relation between primary color and visible form? Between secondary color and visible form? Okay? Between primary color and between secondary color? Okay? Between color and external matter? Yes? Okay? Then between color and functional thing? They'll all be on a group soon, Jay, don't worry. Yeah? Okay? So that's the color ones. Then you do the same thing with sound, and you do the same thing with the last one which we did, which was smell, right? And then once you've done these, and you get a good map of how they all tie up within the scheme, climbing all the way up, then do with visible form and smell, visible form and sound, and then between sound and smell. Yeah, so you're doing it with the ones that we've done, the three sources or the three bases: visible form and smell, visible form and sound, and then smell and sound. Yeah? Okay? And again, you're only concerned currently with doing them, running through them, and then asking the definitions at each step. That's all you're doing. Okay? Yeah? But today you can add a new one. So after these are done, this is like laying the groundwork for getting the format, getting the structure, and then also for practicing the definitions, right? After this is done, and I suspect it won't take you very long, then do this. This is the ones. Now today we're going to start making them a little bit more complicated, like we promised. Okay? What is so your A's and B's are going to become something that has three possibilities with visible form, and something that has three possibilities with smell. Yeah, the relation between something that has three possibilities with visible form, something that has three possibilities with smell. Okay? Yes? Yes? Something that has four possibilities with visible form, and something that has three possibilities with smell. Something that has four possibilities with visible form, and something that has three possibilities with smell. No, the first one was 3 and 3. This is 4 and 3.
You did three possibilities visible form, three possibilities smell, four possibilities visible form,
And
Three possibilities smell.
I already had that.
there are two, they are two separate.
Tuji, just read them back to me. What's your first set of A's and B's?
Three possibilities visible form,
No. 3 possibilities with visible form and 3 possibilities with smell. Got it? We try one right now. Here. We try one right now, don't worry. And so just write it like that. 3 possibilities with visible form, 3 possibilities with smell. That's the O that we're waiting for. That's it. Yeah? Got it? Yeah. And then the second set is 4 possibilities with visible form, 3 possibilities with smell. And then the next one is 3 possibilities with visible form, 4 possibilities with smell. Yeah? So you're just altering them. Is that okay? So you're switching it. 3 possibilities with visible form, 4 possibilities with smell. Yeah?
Let's say we can't find anything that's for visible form, and so we say nothing and something.
That's fine. Right now, if that's what you think, then that's fine. So let's do it. Let's do one. Let's do it with the red and blue, just to get into the habit, because then these you can do in class later, right? What is the relation? Okay, so take something that has 3 possibilities with red and something that has 3 possibilities with blue. It follows they have amongst them 3 possibilities, 4 possibilities, they're inclusive or exclusive. Just answer. Just go with the structure. Let's try. Except, is there something that is both something that has 3 possibilities with red and 3 possibilities with blue? For example, color. Okay. If it is something that has 3 possibilities with red, it follows it has to be something that has 3 possibilities with blue. For example, red ball. Okay. You said color. Let's move on. Let's move on to the third one. If it is something that has 3 possibilities with blue, it follows it is necessarily something that has 3 possibilities with red. For example, color again. Okay. Is there something that doesn't have 3 possibilities with blue, nor 3 possibilities with red? For example, Manjushri. Okay. Okay. Now you've set color to the first, to the second, and to the third. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's go with the second. Take color. It follows it has three possibilities with red. Yeah? Okay. Now you get into it. Take color. It follows it doesn't have three possibilities with red. Take color. It follows it has three possibilities with red. Accept. It follows there's something that's both color and red. Red. If it is color, it follows it is red. Necessarily red, for example. Blue. If it is red, it follows it is necessarily color. There is something that is neither color nor red. Except. So red has three possibilities with color. We've verified that. Now take color. It follows it doesn't have three possibilities with blue. It follows it does have three possibilities with blue. It follows it is not an example of something that has three possibilities with red, but not three possibilities with blue. Or something that has three possibilities with red, but not three possibilities with blue. Yeah, I know. You gave it as an example to the second question, which was, if it is something that has three possibilities with red, it follows it necessarily has to have three possibilities with blue? No. And you gave color as an example though. Is it a correct example? Has three possibilities with red, but it also has them with blue. It's something that is both. Yes? So what is an example of something that has three possibilities with red, but not three possibilities with blue? If there's nothing, then for you they will become mutually inclusive, these two. Got it? Yeah? Question mark, we don't know. You have to try. Yes? Yeah. You need to verify them. That's why this debate becomes so much more. If it is convoluted, it will be convoluted, and then the convoluted nature of it will make you be very irritable and unhappy, and you'll be like, I'm not getting it, what's going on? And then I'll come and you'll ask me, and then I'll tell you, don't worry about it, we'll go through it one more time. And by the end of it, you know why? Because once you've done all the other ones first, you've got your definitions, and by doing that, you'll get a good map. You're like, color fits in over here, primary fits in here, this follows into this scheme. Then now you're checking between each other. So when you start doing 3s and 4s, you will further elaborate your scheme even more. And when you start with each question having to do this, your ability to tie in more and more information and take it back to the original one will get heightened. So the initial convoluted nature of the question will make you not be able to even recall where you've gone and where you're coming back. But the more we do that, the more we practice that, the more your ability will get better and better and better. Also at 3:30, we're not doing any more material. We're only practicing. So whatever questions you have or whatever practice you want to do, we do together at 3:30. We clarify your doubts, of course, and then you'll be practicing this later. So it's very convoluted, I completely agree, but that has purpose. Yeah? Great. So, can we, yes.
What is convoluted?
Didn't we already have this come? You already asked this before.
Me? No.
No?
Or maybe another class.
In the other one, yeah, when we did the retreat, you asked what convoluted
I
means.
asked that and I don't know.
So convoluted means like it's, convoluted is like, it's tricky, it's confusing, it's difficult to understand, it's mixed up, you can't really make sense of it. That's when it's convoluted. Yeah, that's what it means. That's also hard. Okay, so we'll finish, yeah.
Dedications, the last three.
Dari